I'm John, and tonight I want answers about Burning Man. There's no stopping us now, because we're live.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says September 13th, 2012, then we're live. My guest tonight is Daniel Kottke. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, John.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yes.
He's been going to Burning Man for 15 years, starting in 1996.
Almost an old timer.
Almost?
Yes.
If you've never seen the show before,
And you haven't?
this is like a courtroom drama. I'm the prosecutor. My guest is the expert witness. And you at home and in the audience are the jury. It's your job to convict or acquit the topics. We'll be taking your tweets. So during the show, as we're talking, if you have any questions about Burning Man, then you can tweet us at John Wants Answer. There's no S on the end, because that S is for suck. And we don't. We have a Twitter contest. Be the first person to tweet and say you want a headshot, and I'll autograph this headshot for you and send it in the mail.
No prisoners for you.
Complete with QR code.
Yes. Rachel, if you're watching, you won last month, but I haven't got your address yet. So please send me your address so I can mail this to you. And I already made one for you, Daniel. You don't have to compete because you've already won your own headshot for being here.
Wow. Suitable for framing.
Go to johnwantsanswers.com to see all our other episodes. And like us on Facebook. Go to Facebook and click like. Look for John Wants Answers. Now, we're at 98 likes today. So we're really close to 100. So I really want this episode to push us over the edge to 100 likes. Then I'll know people finally like me after a couple of years of doing this. Special thanks to our executive producers of the show, Lisa Tamaki and Brain Westbefall.
You have executive producers? No fair.
This show is, you know, highfalutin.
Getting higher all the time.
Finally, my favorite quote, not the best quote, my favorite quote for the show review. I can't believe I'm watching this.
Wake me up.
Everyone in the world.
Okay, so now our first topic, Burning Man.
Wow, that was good.
We had a guy come in one time and do it, and then we just play it back every time.
Oh, I like it.
So Burning Man, my impression of Burning Man is it's a bunch of hippies on LSD in the desert.
Incorrect.
Am I wrong? I'm incorrect.
Yes.
Okay. How would you describe Burning Man in 1.5 sentences?
Hard to do, really hard to do. But it's not about the desert. It's not about hippies. It's not about drugs, really. It's really about art. It's
being told you already passed 1.5 sentences. But go on. But I'm
it's
sorry,
it's about radical creativity. That's really what it's about, I would say.
It's artists and creativity.
Artists running wild out in the desert.
Are
And
they on fire?
some of them are, actually. Yeah, and that's always entertaining. You know, my personal story is I love to camp, but I don't even like the desert. And I resisted going to Burning Man for years. I knew about it. I used to go to the planning meetings, but I did not want to go to the desert.
You would plan it, but not go to it.
Well, the planning meetings were always lots of fun up in the city. And then finally, 1996, my friend Jim Thompson just like grabbed me and said, come on, we're going. And I got out there and suddenly realized it's not even about the desert. It's about having a giant playpen where you can do anything you want. Now, you know, 1996 was the last year for the shooting range. They had a shooting range. It was the last year before they had the perimeter fence. So there was a lot of just like jumping in your car and taking off at high speed. But that's dangerous because often the dust is so bad you can't nobody can drive
Yeah.
fast anymore.
So it's not dangerous at Burning Man anymore.
Not anymore, that's right, because there are layers of rules now.
Is it a lot different now from when you first started going in '96?
Well, yeah, because now it's 60,000 people, and so
What was it in '96?
5,000.
Oh, so that sounds manageable.
It has scaled very well. I think everyone would agree. And people talk that it's commercial now, but really no, it's scaled very well, and the art is still over the top. It is. So really, here's the one word, the one sentence description you want.
Okay.
It is the best art gallery in our local galactic group.
Our galactic.
Yes, it's way better than anything else in the solar system.
I don't know, that Curiosity has found some interesting rock formations.
Yes, that's right. And some of them may show up at Burning Man, I suppose.
Okay, so let's figure this out. So you drive out into the desert, and I've seen pictures. It's like a big flat desert,
Really big.
really
30
big,
mile. 30
expansive
miles.
desert. And do you just like pitch a tent somewhere?
Yeah.
So you get there, you pitch a tent, and how long do you stay in the tent for? How long is Burning Man? A week?
Yeah, it's for a week, and people start arriving to set up the city months in advance. And ever since it first, the first few years it was in San Francisco, and then they got kicked out of San Francisco. So then
Where in San Francisco were they doing
it started on Baker Beach, out on the beach.
Oh, so that's pretty small. So you just pitch tents on the beach?
No. It started in 1986. Larry Harvey got a few friends. Larry was depressed that year. He knew enough paleo anthropology. He wanted to burn an effigy of a man because his girlfriend dumped him. Okay, you can kind of imagine how that would happen.
Right,
so
right.
It was just like an effigy of a man, but it wasn't huge. But it was so much fun. The minute they lit it on fire, they decided to do it again the next year. And then it got bigger and bigger. And after about 2 or 3 years, all of a sudden, the Coast Guard and the Golden Gate recreation cops were coming down on them, and
It became a real event instead of just some friends.
yeah.
with a bonfire.
So then they were starting to look around for another place to do it, and they ended up on the Black Rock Desert. And it was 10 years into the project by the time I got there. So by then it had grown to 5,000 people, but it was already quite organized. They had a giant circular layout.
So tell me about the city thing, because you don't just pitch a tent. You gotta go to a specific spot where you've been assigned to pitch your tent, and they.
No, nobody's assigning you anything, but because it's a survival kind of a venue, it's harsh out there in the desert. So really, it's about reliance. It's about tribal. It's a tribal kind of a thing. It's like a little bit like Bedouin society.
It sounded like Survivor all of a sudden.
A little bit like, yeah.
So you have you vote people off, and not everyone makes it.
Well, people have died. People have been born and died at Burning Man.
Is it an equal number on both sides?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if it's net positive or net negative.
I don't know. Being born at Burning Man doesn't really sound like a good idea to me.
Yeah, because you're in the desert.
Yes.
And it's very sandy.
Yes.
How do you want sand in that
hard.
area?
Well, there are sandstorms every year. It's harsh. Right. So anyway, it's a tribal thing. So you really want to camp with your circle of friends. You don't really want to go by yourself.
Right. You don't go by yourself. You get your friends together and
have a caravan. People do caravans. People circle the RVs.
Are these tribes official? Like, do you register yourself as a tribe when you get there?
Yeah. So if you go, anyone who wants can go to burningman.org. Very, very elaborate website. It's immense.
They've had 25 years to make it.
Hundreds of theme camps every year. Hundreds. And someone figured out once that the average theme camp spends more than $10,000, and there are hundreds of them. We're talking a big economic, subculture.
You must have to reserve space for your camp.
Well, the major theme camps have huge jockeying for position because everyone wants to be along the so-called esplanade, which is the innermost ring. Okay, that's where the main traffic is, along the esplanade. And so as you move from the inner ring to the outer rings, it gets more and more sparse.
It's like a real city where in the center you have the skyscrapers, and then you have the burbs in the outside. and the
Yeah.
farms.
But there's, the main theme is art. And so now, I mean, as of 10 years ago even, there are hundreds and hundreds of major art installations scattered all over the playa that's in the space enclosed by the city. So the city is in the shape of a horseshoe. It's it was originally 1.5 miles diameter. Now it's 2 mile diameter. So it's from the outer ring, it's 1 mile to the man. And so there's a huge amount of space with hundreds and hundreds of art installations. And
So the man is in the middle.
the man's in the center.
The center.
Yes.
Okay.
And you could, being on foot doesn't get you very far anymore because it's just way too big.
So how do you get around?
Well, you pretty much should bring a bike or,
You can't drive your car around, right?
No, you can't. You could bring an art car, but there's strict approval process for art cars.
So how do you bring your tent and your gear in?
Oh,
Do you have to
well,
carry it,
no.
or
People,
you can-
no, people drive in, but
they
you can't just drive around once you're there. You can drive in to get to your campsite
You can
wherever
leave your
it
car
is.
right beside your tent?
Yes.
But you can't drive your car
Yes,
around then?
Yes, and what people do is because sandstorms are a big deal, what you want to do is like guess where the wind is going to come from and put your tent on the lee side of your van or your RV. And what the organized camps do is they will make a big quadrant and have it surrounded by RVs to keep the wind out. And then they'll have all these large covered tent areas, and it's like being in a Bedouin village out in the Sahara. It's really cool.
So how do you go to the bathroom?
Porta potties.
They have porta potties there?
Yes.
Do you have to walk far, or do they scatter them? So
They're all
close
over.
by?
It's never a problem.
Everywhere.
And
Okay.
there's never been a shortage of porta potties. They spend their money. Burning Man has a budget in the millions, $6 million budget, roughly. And so they have lots and lots of porta potties, and the porta potties get cleaned every day or two. And there's lots of trucks coming through, and there's trucks spraying water on the
Are there
roads.
showers?
Not public showers, but all the big camps have showers, and all you have to do is know someone, and you'll be welcomed to come and use their shower.
Okay.
Not really a deal. Not
Are
a
there
problem.
water hookups like in the camps? Or do they have to bring their own
Water is all informal by camp. Not so there aren't hookups, but everybody is sharing. It's really a lot about. It's number one. It's about art, but sharing is very high on the list of what it's about.
So if you had some art and you wanted to show it,
Yes.
how would that work? You go there, you set up your tent. Where do you put your art?
Some people put their art next to their tent. Some people build a theme camp, which is an art pavilion. Some people do a big art installation out on the playa. I ran into Bill Atkinson at Burning Man years ago. He had done a big art installation of his photographic art, and he just did it all by himself, and he just did it out in the desert. I don't know how many people saw it because it wasn't, Bill's a very famous guy, but he wasn't really advertising it. It was just out in the desert. And that's the magic of Burning Man. If you just get on your bike and just go randomly riding around, you will see the most amazing things. Amazing things.
So I heard there's no money, there's no commerce in Burning Man. Is that right?
Except for coffee and ice.
Coffee and ice.
And there's a cafe that's 24-hour coffee and ice. No, the 24-hour coffee and tea and chai and hot chocolate.
How do you eat?
Well, like I said, there's hundreds of theme camps, and you could.
But you got to know someone, it sounds like. If
I
just
would
show
say
up
you don't
in
even
my
have to
tent-
know. It's nice to know people, but if you just bring a bowl and a spoon and just go wander around, you will get fed.
So people are just giving out
Yes,
free food?
people will give free food. Yes, it's kind of miraculous.
So if you are homeless, it sounds like a good place to go to.
Yes, and in fact, there was a guy who did a Burning Man art project of literally going with nothing. And in fact, he gave his clothes away, so he was naked. And he was sitting on a blanket naked, and things came to him. People brought him clothing, people brought him food, people brought him gifts.
People give him clothing, like, cover up, man.
So,
Speaking of naked, I hear there's a lot of nakedness at Burning Man compared to, like, San Jose.
there,
Is
yes,
that like a
there
big
is.
aspect of it? Is like, because the artists, they want
It's a fairly
naked?
big aspect. Why? Because nakedness represents a kind of psychic freedom, which is very much what Burning Man is about. It's a kind of a psychic freedom. And so people just spontaneously take their clothes off. I've even done it myself. You know, however,
is there like a big worry of burning?
yeah, because
Sunburn?
you could, yeah.
Yeah.
And getting sunburned isn't really fun. And also it gets really cold at night. So
So you can't be naked all the time.
I'm always amazed how many naked people there are at night and how they're not freezing cold, because I have been freezing even with many layers of clothing on.
All right,
So-
we got to stop now for a break. Send us your tweets. When we come back, we'll take your tweets and we'll talk more about Burning Man and Keith and John get it on. See you in a minute. Okay.
Ritual break.
What's this blinking thing you have on your shirt?
This is the Burning Man project. And
Oh. I don't have my
maybe it's
crew
not,
badge
probably
on.
not even showing up. The lights are too bright. But
I have one right here.
another
I don't know if they can see it.
important thing about Burning Man is at night, it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable the profusion of blinky stuff of all types. It's just like it's like being out in the galaxy of lights everywhere you look. That's really one
It's
of
like
the cool.
Vegas, kind of in that respect,
It
right?
makes Vegas it makes Vegas look like a little tiny campsite. It is so huge. It's like the Milky Way.
All right, we covered that. Covered that.
Well, we covered the LSD, did we?
You said there's no. You said there's no LSD at all at
Well-
Burning Man. Is what I heard you say.
That's an exaggeration.
He's aware of it.
You said 60,000 people come.
This year.
Hey, turn your cell phones off.
How long does this break go for?
Board director, whose cell phone went off.
Okay,
Wow,
so I think
covering topics.
we've got a few questions left. We have some
good.
tweets.
Wow,
Okay,
tweetification.
so we need to. I think the PSAs are finishing.
They're actually
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back, and we're here to take your tweets. We have some tweets today. First one is from Sudeep Dua. I want a headshot. Oh, well then, this will be coming to you soon. Another question from Sudeep. Why is your guest wearing lights and you are not?
darn good.
I think you brought these for me, right?
Yes,
And then I didn't know to wear them.
Well, you
how would I
gotta-
wear them? Because I don't have there's not like a strap or anything.
you could do that. Yes, that's good enough. That's good. Improvising. That's good.
Can anyone go and see Burning Man?
You need a ticket,
You need a ticket.
and you need to get there, and it's an arduous journey to get there.
I have some questions about that. But that's, I think, all the tweets we have, so I can just get right into those questions.
There is actually tweeting from the playa now. Sad to say.
They have internet access there?
They have cell coverage. now.
Cell coverage. Well, it's about time. Okay. So tickets. How much does a ticket cost?
Well, they started out being in the hundreds
That's a lot of money.
15
for
years
porta
ago.
potty.
It seemed like a lot at the time, and now they go for 400.
400.
Yes.
So now only the rich people get to go.
Burning Man actually actively sponsors starving artists. So there are programs to give tickets to starving artists. There are multiple levels of ticket pricing.
That's $24 million they bring in.
Well, no, not really that much, but
I did the math.
last time I heard about the budget, it was over $6 million, and that was
Okay.
only a couple years ago.
Wow. And they sell out now, don't they? I heard
Yes,
this year
are
they sold out.
Yes,
and
they
people-
sold out last year, and they sold out this year.
How soon do they sell out now?
Well, it's complicated because they only release waves of tickets in multiple waves, and each wave will sell out, and then there'll be another wave at a higher price,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
another wave, and
That's how they get you.
yeah,
So what do they burn? They burn the man. The man.
yes.
Is the man just
Well,
a cardboard cutout this tall, or
no,
is it like
the
a huge thing now?
Well, the actual man of the wooden man, it's packed with
Dynamite.
it's packed with fireworks and explosives and stuff. And the actual man is maybe only 30 feet tall.
Only 30 feet tall.
But
That's a
in
gigantic
recent
man.
years, the man is always on a big superstructure, and so by the time the top of the man is always 100 feet or 150, it's a big thing.
All right, we have some pictures to see that my friend Joe took. He was at Burning Man this year. Let's take a look at a few. So I don't know if you can see that very well from here.
I can't see that well, so
It looks like a art installation of some kind.
yes.
In the sunrise.
People take thousands of pictures of art.
Okay, I see the
Burning
next
Man.
one. Here's
That looks like a sunset.
sunset. That's a sun right over some big tower.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, yes.
Let's see the next one. This is a boat. This is like a car.
That looks like La Contessa.
What's La
Which
Contessa?
La Contessa was a award-winning, now famous Spanish galleon that appeared on the playa about 5 years ago, and it was actually torched by someone a couple years ago, and the lawsuit finally happened, and they found him not guilty, which is really...
That sounds bogus to me.
It was totally bogus.
Let's see the next one. Another nice picture of lights. This is
Yes.
the lights you're talking about.
It's hard to even convey so the night that the man burns on a Saturday night, and after the main burn, everybody, we're talking 50,000 people out there swirling around on the playa, and everybody is wearing lights, and it is just very psychedelic.
Let's see the next picture. Is that the man?
That looks like the man.
The man
and that
on
might
top
have
of a
been this
big-
year.
Yeah, on top of a big
Pylons.
pylons.
I
And so
don't
they
know.
burn that whole thing down.
Looks like a temple. Yeah.
Isn't that bad for the environment?
They not only burn it down, they blow it up. It's fireworks.
People aren't worried about the carbon emissions?
Many people have complained about
Yeah.
carbon emissions. That's a topic for rife for
That's
discussion.
a very, yeah, okay. Let's see the next picture. We have any more?
Yeah.
I should have noticed what the last picture was.
That looks like
so
McDonald's.
when it was done. That's a piece of art. Looks like spider thing.
Yeah.
Next one. Looks like another picture
That looks
of
like a
the
mountain.
They have like a chapel or a.
There are so
thing,
many
what do they call
structures.
it?
There are just many structures, and
Temple?
it's worth mentioning that as of the last 10 years, 2000 is when they built the first temple,
Mm-hmm.
and the man used to burn on Sunday night, okay, and Monday is Labor Day.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so that was like the closing night of the festival. But as the burning of the man got to be bigger and bigger and bigger, they moved that to Saturday night to give people a chance to pack up and leave because of logistical reasons. And then the temple started, and David Best was the guy who started building these temples. And he was not a well-known artist. He's kind of an architect as well as an artist. And now the temple burn is on Sunday night, and it is better than the man burn.
All right.
It's a very different event.
All right, we got to stop you there. Thanks so much for coming on. Right now it's time for Keith and John Get It On.
Woo!
Now, if you remember last episode, we had a weigh-in. And the contest that month was to see who could lose the most weight. So it's time to go to the scales.
The scales.
The scales for me and Keith.
Scales of justice.
All right, let me make my way over here. All right, so I'll weigh in first. And we have an officiant here. Harpreet is going to officiate this because Keith tends to try and cheat.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Is my cable going to be long enough for this?
I think so.
Okay. Wait, I'm wearing this blinking light. This is going to put extra weight on me.
Good, I get to wear extra. Oh, it is a scale.
Okay, what do you say?
160 even.
160 even?
160.
Oh, this is not good. Because
Okay.
I was 156.
Uh-oh.
And what do I weigh?
Wow, 220 even.
Oh! Oh! We don't need to do the math on the percentages because clearly I'm a gainer and Keith is a loser. So my 4 pounds went Your 4 pounds went to me. Well, that sucks.
Keith wins.
Oh, sharing genes.
Okay, so now we have the contest for the next Keith and John Get It On.
This is the worst name ever, by the way. I may have mentioned it last month,
Yes.
but I'm going to mention it every month.
I disagree. I love it.
I have 2 index cards. This
Yellow.
month, that doesn't matter. We're going to have a penmanship competition. I'm John. I Googled. I'm here with Larry Gowan. September is the month for. That's what I Googled for. And the first hit was lawn improvement.
Wow, Google
So
sucks.
we're each going to write, this sentence on an index card. They're going to pass it around to the audience, and they're going to mark which one they think.
Wait, I don't get to judge it?
It's judged by the audience.
Then what am I doing here?
You're making sure that we write
September is the...
month
I'm erasing. Is erasing allowed?
for
You lose points for it.
lawn
I'm not erasing.
improvement.
Great. Your pencil sucks.
When was the last time either of you wrote anything?
Long time ago. I'm a typer.
It shows.
A typecaster.
Okay, so we're going to pass each of these index cards to the audience with 1 pencil, and your job is to put a check on one of these cards, just the one that you think is neatest. And then next month, we will announce the winner.
Okay, I'm gonna
So how the officiant.
attach this to the back of mine, just so you can keep them separate. Okay, hang on. I'll pencil. Here's a pencil too.
All right.
I thought last month's contest was stupid, but you've outdone yourself, John.
So our next show is going to be on October 11th. Now, next month, we've got a great guest. We pre-taped this already on Sunday. We have Larry Gowan of the band Styx on the show. We have a teaser. Let's see a clip from this interview. I'm John, and tonight I'm here with Larry Gowan.
That's our tour manager. He's determined
Trying to throw you out?
get me ready with the band right now, and I'm going to have to do. I should do that, John.
Okay, so that was the beginning and the end. So to see all in between, come back next month. All right. Thanks for coming on.
That's funny. I like the clothes. Loretta directed. Wow.
All right.
Good music.